Hey everybody, my name's Gary. Thank you for stopping by Killer Off-Road Hobbies. Today, basically, it's not going to have any fancy trucks and stuff on today. What I'm going to do is talk about monster trucks. Cool monster trucks, not so cool monster trucks, like my experience with them, and most importantly, how I rate them in my reviews when I'm doing a review on a monster truck or basically any RC that I review. So I'm just gonna kind of go over it and talk about like why I like certain monster trucks, why I don't like certain monster trucks, why I will say that some monster trucks are overpriced, some are a really good value for dollar, and all of that. And I know this is like subject to opinion, so not everybody's going to agree on everything, which is totally fine. And a lot of people are going to have certain feelings or thoughts about a truck that I review that are contrary to what I think or I believe due to their experience with the RC, which is fine too. I mean, you know, I do review videos to try and give people my opinion and how I feel about the RC with my RC experience, driving skills, and whatnot. Are there better reviewers out there? Absolutely. Are there better drivers out there? Better, just all around better at RC? Absolutely. Tons of people out there way surpass my experience level with tuning and everything. That's why, as of now, I'm trying to focus on the stock form, like what you get out of the box with the RTR. Now, if I'm doing a kit, you'll see that my review process is a little bit different. I tend to tinker and stuff with that with kits. RTR, I mainly focus on what you get out of the box. I'll review the vehicle in that state, and if I feel like the RC is actually a decent value or whatever, I will actually keep it around and upgrade it and keep it on the channel. And then I'll do I'm gonna start doing long-term reviews. So after I've had the truck for 6 or 8 months, I'll do another review after, you know, that period of time instead of the initial 4 or 5 test runs and then my initial thoughts. So I'm going to start doing that, especially in this upcoming year in 2018, which is right around the corner. That's what I'm going to start doing. I'm going to start doing long-term reviews. We'll probably get the MT410 back on here and everything. So, I've been asked several times what my favorite RCs are, what my favorite RC is, and why, and what my least favorite is, and why. And so we're just going to talk about that. We'll mainly focus on A scales because that's the majority of stuff I've had on this channel. Just keep in mind that all of this goes the same for any scale vehicle I do. I take a basis of what I know or believe is a good product, and I use that as a basically kind of a meter. So we'll start out with A scale. And right off the bat, everybody knows I love the Arrma Kraton. Not only because it was one of my first RCs and I learned how to drive with it and all of that stuff, but I think the Arrma Kraton is absolutely one of the best ready-to-runs you can buy. Value-wise, durability, what it comes with, absolute awesome value. So with that being said, when I do something, so when I review something along the lines of the HPI Savage XL Flux or XL Savage Flux, whatever you want to call it, or the Losi 3 XLE, or yada yada yada, whatever you want to do, I take, basically what I do is I set the guidelines along the Arrma Kraton. So the Arrma Kraton comes in at $500. It has a really good power system in it with lots of power. The durability is absolutely incredible on that RC. And the power, the servo, the tires, all of that stuff I put into consideration when judging the value for that RC. Now the Arma Creighton does come with a pretty mediocre to not so desirable set of tires on it. So basically you take the Arma Creighton and you add $100. So you're looking at about $600 RC. You can run the stock tires though, they're not throwaways. So if you look at it in that standpoint, I mean, that's where I use my baseline. My baseline, basically in my head, is I'm looking for something that is at least more valuable or a little less valuable than the Arma Creighton. Because from my experience, like I said, from my experience and my opinion, as far as monster truck goes, because they're pretty much all truggy-fied monster trucks nowadays, except for a couple. There's a couple out there that are actual kind of life monster trucks with solid axles and stuff. Not very many though. There's only a select couple. So basically, you're going to get a truggy with monster truck tires. I mean, that's about the gist of it nowadays. So taking that into consideration, and me feeling that the Arma Creighton is the best RTR monster truck you can get. So when I pick up something like the Savage XL Flux or the Losi LST 3XL, I'm looking in that RC, I want that $200 worth of value out of it over the Arma Creighton. So if I'm paying $700 for one and it's inferior, I feel it's inferior to the Arma Creighton, I'm not going to give it a very good review because I don't think value for money is there. If you can buy a better product at $500, where's the value? If the product that cost you $500 is better, it might not look better, it might not be as big, as flashy, but as far as value for dollar goes, if the value for dollar is there, you can put a different body on it. I mean, you have $200 to play with. So that's the way I kind of judge, you know, how I do my reviews. I take what I know is good, a solid value, and then I ask myself, would I pay the extra money to get this vehicle? And if the answer is no, more times than not, I'm going to give it a mediocre to less favorable review. Now, can I think the truck is cool and awesome? Absolutely. I actually really enjoyed driving the 3XLE. But at the same time, I would have felt my money being better spent on an Arma Creighton. So that's why I kind of gave that thing like a mediocre, buy at your own risk type thing. I had problems with it, but I got the gist of the vehicle. Now, with the Savage XL Flux, I mean, I had full power with that thing and everything, and I still felt that that truck, while being fun to drive, insane crazy power, the old tech they still have on that truck, they didn't revamp anything almost. And the old tech, and still charging you $700, I absolutely would buy the Creighton over that. So that's just kind of what I look at. I look to see if the value's there. You know, whether it be just the truck itself, or if the durability's up to par, if the power system's up to par, if the tires are actual throwaways, like completely useless, or if you can actually run them for a while till you get a little bit of money. I mean, I take all of these things into consideration while doing a review. So as far as my experience with monster trucks in the RC world, I have had a few super bad flops that were just horrendous, and it's like I can't even believe those vehicles are on the market. And then I've had some really, really, really awesome experiences. So, I mean, everybody knows that the MT410 is the absolute top of my list. I mean, that truck, to me, I mean, if you watch Rich Duperbash's channel, he has broken his a lot. But he also is one of the most extreme hardcore bashers I have personally ever witnessed, besides somebody like that you watch a promo video, somebody that works for Traxxas that can just have all the E-Revos they want, and they just send them sailing off everything, and as soon as it breaks, they just pull a brand new E-Revo out of the box and send it sailing off something else. I mean, aside from seeing videos like that, Rich Duper Bash is probably one of, if not the most hardcore basher that I personally have ever witnessed. So with that being said, he has had several breakages with his MT410. But, I mean, other RCs probably would have had to be entirely rebuilt if they were even salvageable. Out of all the crazy stuff I've done with my MT410 to date, I'm not sure how long I've had it. It's got to be coming close to a year, though. I've literally broken one knuckle, one steering knuckle, and I stripped out the plastic spur gear that got halfway stripped out when my motor pinion came loose, slid forward, and just took the front edge off of all the teeth on the spur gear. Outside of that, I have not had a single problem with that truck, other than the body is basically just goop and drywall tape because the whole thing is just trashed. But it's still on there. The original body that I got for it's still on there. So that's why I am such a huge fan of the MT410. Insanely solid kit. Coming in a very close, and we're going to just talk about monster trucks like I said, because my second favorite would probably be another Techno, the ET48.3. But since we're talking about monster trucks, my second favorite would have to go to the Creighton. As I said, I think that truck is the best ready to run that you can buy. The best value for money and everything. Now, some people might say that the Outcast is, which I wouldn't disagree with you. I prefer the Creighton because I like how stable the platform is. But if you want insane, crazy, do a little bit more than the Creighton trick-wise, the Outcast is right there. And that is why the Outcast is going to come in as my third favorite RC, that monster truck that I've ever tested. So to kind of round this out, fourth and fifth place are kind of rough for me because I like a lot of trucks, but it's hard, and we're talking about A scale because as everybody knows that's seen my video previous to this or whatever, is the JLB is solidly in that top 5. But when it comes to A scales, I would have to think about fourth and fifth place quite a bit. Geez, I'm not even sure. Those are the three that just stand out in my mind right now. Yeah, I'm not even sure. I like a lot, but at the same time, yeah, I can't. Out of an A scale, I would just have to have those top 3. If you throw some 10th scales in there, like I said, the JLB would definitely be in there. And I'm really hoping that the Pro Line Pro MT 4x4 is going to knock out the FS Racing Victory X. Because that truck, I had such a phenomenal blast of a time with that thing. Now, the Savage XS would kind of be up there, but it's just too crazy. It's too wild. It's too small. It's hard, really hard to control. It's really hard to get that thing to land on its feet and not just go tumbling everywhere. Solid truck, but it's just a little too crazy. Like I said, I like the stability of the Creighton. I like stable RCs, I would have to say. So anyways, enough with my favorites. Let's go to some of the biggest flops I have tested to date. Now, coming in, I will go backwards on this. So, as far as disappointments, Coming in at number 3, and we'll work up to number 1. Coming in at number 3 is going to be the Terremoto V2. Oh my God. It would probably be number 1 if it cost more, but luckily that truck is really cheap, and I know exactly why it's really cheap now. Good components. I will say that. Good components. The motor and ESC are decent, solid for the price. You know, it comes 4S capable. It actually comes with batteries and, you know, all that jazz. The steering servo, so far so good. I basically took all the electronics out of that and put it in my Creation. And I had it in other stuff before that, and it has worked fine for me. So, you know, that stuff is pretty solid. As far as the truck is an absolute flop in my book. Not worth any money. I wouldn't even look at it again. Never ever buy it again, not even for 25 bucks. Coming at number 2, I would say the Losi LST XXL 2E. That truck is a huge flop to me. Absolutely. Oh, I don't even want to get started on the diff issues on that truck. Awesome suspension, great power system. Just diffs can't handle it. I know people say that you can put HPI pins in there and stuff, but I don't understand that, because my problem was the actual gear in there shattered on both the diffs that I exploded. And I don't see how the pin would stop that from happening unless the pin was a softer metal and the pin broke instead of shattering the gear. But people say it works. I didn't even try it because I was so frustrated with the diff issues that thing had that I just basically got rid of it. I just washed my hands of it. It was a huge disappointment to me. The suspension, amazing. I did like the look of the tires, even though the tires themselves didn't perform very well, but they are nice. They're big. As I said, the suspension was nice. The battery tray issue, come on, you guys got to figure something better out for the batteries. On the newer chassis, it's not quite as bad, but it's still kind of a hassle. And yeah, I'm just gonna leave it at that. The LST XXL 2E was a huge fail to me. And the reason it comes in at second is because they want $650 for that car. 650 bucks. So that you can spend 50 bucks every time you even look at it to replace the diffs. I don't understand it. That's all I'm going to say about it. That came in at number 2. Number 1, the big number 1. I'm not sure if any of you guys know this. I'm sure some of you might. But the absolute biggest fail I have ever had on my channel comes from none other than a well-established RC company like Kyosho. Yeah, Kyosho, with their Phillips head hardware still, and their rebranded Team Orion, which is nothing more than Hobby Wing, and they want to charge you way extra money for it because they put a sticker on it, a cute little sticker that says Team Orion. Yeah, the Psycho, the Kyosho Psycho Cruise. That thing was absolutely the biggest disappointment I have ever had on this channel, to me personally. Some people might ask why I didn't put the X-Max in that top 3 of fails on here. Well, the X-Max, for all its flaws, and I would probably never buy one again unless I got a roller or a screaming deal. It is an awesome truck. I mean, if you're willing to put the money into it, it is an awesome truck. It's huge components. I mean, it's, for all the bad things I can say about the X-Max, I can say that it's an awesome platform. I think it's a very overpriced and underpowered platform, but I do think it is better than the 3 I just mentioned. So it would be somewhere down there for me towards the bottom, but it's not at the absolute bottom. Like I said, the Kyosho Psycho Cruise was the worst truck I have ever experienced. $700. The body completely blew out almost right away. The shock towers are made out of tinfoil. The suspension was absolutely horrible. The tires, absolutely worthless. Even the gold rims, like, they just flaked off. I mean, everything that I thought was cool about that truck and that was going to be cool about that truck was absolutely not cool about that truck. Had a decent power system on 6S. 4S was horrible. 6S was decent. And most people say, oh, you know, the Team Orion name on that ESC, well, it has more options to tune it, more this, more that. No, it didn't. I plugged the Hobbywing program card into it, and it only gave me the 5 options. From those baseline quick runs, you get 5 options. Like if you plug that card into one out of a Creighton or whatever, the Hobbywing quick run that comes in those, while being an awesome ESC, and it's my favorite ESC that comes with ready to runs, you only get 5 options. Now if you buy a true Hobbywing quick run, you get the full 12, and it's only $75 to your door. You can buy a Hobbywing quick run, you get the full 12 options on the program card. Awesome. The ones that come in the ready to runs, you only get the 5 options. I think it's brake, strength, punch control, the reverse setting, you know, all that stuff, lipo cut off. But other than that, that's all you really get. And that's my top 3 and my bottom 3 out of all the RCs I've had on this channel. Like, well, RC monster trucks, I should say. And that's just kind of how I rate my stuff. I mean, you know, I try to find the value in it. And like I said, I focus on stock form. I know if you buy an X-Max and you gear it up and you put a new ESC in it, it's an awesome truck. I'm looking for what they were selling me. I'm looking for the 8S most powerful monster truck on the market, yada, 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 all this stuff. Give us your money, right? That's what I'm looking for. When they say an RC is supposed to be the biggest, most durable, most powerful thing out, when I buy it, I want to see that it is. You know, you see this stuff all the time on like actual truck advertising. Oh, Motor Trend's top truck of the year. Well, every single model of truck is the top truck of the year. If you watch their commercials, they're like, oh, voted best by JD Power and Associates, voted best by Motor Trend, voted best by this, voted best by that. Well, just because they're voted doesn't mean they are the best, you know? And if every truck is the #1 truck, Motor Trend truck of the year every year, then they're all either good or they all suck, because that's the way it is. That's how they advertise it to us. That's how they try and get your money. And my channel is here to try and part the seas of advertising BS and tell you what you're actually getting out of the box when you buy something. So I'm going to leave it there, guys. Thank you. I know this is a long video. I thank you all who have painstakingly watched all of this and actually tuned in to, you know, hear what I had to say. I kind of dragged this out a little bit, so I'll go ahead and end it there. Thank you all for watching. Happy holidays, everybody. Check out the description. There's a bunch of cool stuff down there. And, you know, thank you for supporting the channel through, you know, watching it. Thumb up, thumb down, all good. Thank you guys, everything. 2017 has been an awesome year. It's not over yet. We still got a lot more to come, but 2018 is going to be even better. Killer Off-Road Hobbies is going up, and we're just going to keep it going how we are. Going to get a little more family involved. Honest reviews. We're going to keep the raffles going. Everything, guys. You guys are so awesome. Thank you so much for supporting me and what I'm trying to do here. And I will see you on the next video. So until then, get out there, get in RC, go have some fun, and we'll be right back here on the next video. Peace out, everybody.